There is not a company in the lighting industry that has tested LED headlight bulbs in the Ford Super Duty as much as we have. And today I'm gonna bring you guys with me in our studio and we're gonna test some of the most popular bulbs in the market today. And I'm gonna show you guys which one is the best, which one is the brightest, which one produces the best beam pattern for your 2017 and up Super Duty. Let's tear into it. So the way this test is going to work today is very simple. We're going to take one of the factory headlight housings from this Super Duty. We're going to set on a bench at 25 feet from a white wall, and I'm going to start with the stock halogen bulb. And we're going to use a digital lux meter to show you exactly how bright, or in some cases how dim, a particular headlight is on the wall from that distance. Now, if you were to replicate this test at home with a similar meter, similar bulbs, and a similar distance, you should get similar results as far as the percentage difference goes. So, if you were to buy the SV4 bulb or the Morimoto 2-stroke, do the same test, you should be pretty close. You're gonna get the same beam pattern though, and that's really why we're here. We're trying to figure out what is the best possible bulb you can get for your Ford Super Duty. The first bulb we're going to be testing today is, of course, the factory halogen bulb. This is what you drove home with, and this is exactly why you're here watching this video today. Not very bright, let's see how it does. This is what your factory beam pattern looks like with the halogen H13 bulbs installed. We've got a nice hot spot in the middle. We do have a lot of flood left and right, so you can see we do have a tall beam pattern from the factory. I don't expect the LED bulbs to change that too much. I'm hoping we can just brighten up that hot spot, pick up a little brightness, pick up a little more flood left and right, but overall I want to maintain this beam pattern. So let's get our test started. Here we have the factory F350 beam pattern, and as you can see, this is a pretty tall high beam pattern. It's also quite wide, but we do have a nice hot spot in the middle, and today I'm looking for a bulb that's going to imitate this beam pattern but brighten it up. Next up, we've got the OPT7 Fluxbeam, and the first thing I notice when I look at this bulb is the collar itself is not clockable, it's not adjustable, so I hope that it installs properly in the headlight right away. If it doesn't, that could pose an issue with beam pattern and brightness. We're about to find out. First up, we have the OPT7 bulb. Now you're gonna see this one all over Amazon and eBay. This one gets asked about a lot in our comment sections on our videos. And as you can see, this is really why we don't do a whole lot of content about these bulbs. This came in at 0% brighter. As you can see, we've got a really weird divide here. We've got some brightness on the top, brightness on the bottom. We've got a weird dark spot horizontally. Honestly, I can't say anything really good about the bulb. It wasn't clockable. We couldn't make it work for this headlight. Now, just to be thorough, here's the OPT7 bulb when switched to high beam. As you can see, we've got a lot of light all over the place. It's 8% less bright than the factory beam pattern. And as you can see, we did lose our hot spot a little bit there. It got diffused, that's why it's less bright. We've got light everywhere except where we need it. Let's keep testing and see what we can do. Next up, we've got the Auxbeam H13 bulb, and this one does not have an external driver. Most of these other bulbs do. I'm excited to see how this one does. Here we have the Auxbeam T1 bulb, and this is one that you're gonna see a lot, once again, on Amazon and eBay. Once again, we picked it out of our comment section. We do that a lot, so if you guys wanna see any other bulbs tested, please comment below. We're always looking for suggestions. Now, this one's unique in that it comes in at 10% brighter. And if you didn't know any better, hey, 10% brighter, it sounds like an upgrade. But if you're looking at the same screen that I am, you're gonna notice that there's no light in the middle of the beam. We lost our hot spot. It's divided cleanly in half. This is not something I'd recommend driving with. Let's check out the high beam. Now here we have the Auxbeam T1 high beam. As you can see, we did fill in that missing spot in the middle. We've got some light there now. We've got a weird effect over on the right of the screen there. I'm not sure what's going on with this bulb. We clocked it as best we could. It just isn't good for this Ford Super Duty headlight. Maybe it's good in others. We'll keep doing our testing. We'll let you know. But in this case, I wouldn't recommend it. We get asked about the Morimoto 2-stroke a lot on this channel, and we're definitely including it in all of the testing we do from here on out. Let's see how it does today. Next up, we've got the Morimoto 2-stroke, and this one came in with pretty good numbers. This was 323% brighter than stock. This one came in at 1,270 maximum lux, which compared to the 300 max lux that came from the factory, if you got these bulbs, this would be a worthy upgrade. Let's check out the high beam. Now, as you can see, when the 2-stroke was switched to high beam on this particular headlight, we do have some diffusion, we do lose our hot spot, but it is 15% brighter still. We've got light where we need it. I wouldn't mind finding a bulb that's got a good low beam and a good high beam, so let's keep going with our test. Next, we have the SV4 bulb. Now, this one we've sold for the Super Duty for a little while now, and I can't wait to see how it stacks up compared to the other bulbs today. Here we've got the SV4 bulb. Now as you can see, this came in considerably higher than stock. We've got a nice clean white light output. Definitely not a bad option for your Ford Super Duty. Let's check out the high beam. Now the high beam is where this bulb really shines. This came in at 160% brighter than stock. This is the best high beam we've seen so far in this test. As you can see, we've got a lot of light up top where that hot spot should be. Got a lot of flood left and right. This thing's gonna shine down the road quite a ways. Now let's keep going. Next up we have the GTR Lighting Ultra Series 2 bulb, and this one's been doing pretty well in the other shootouts we've been doing on this channel. I can't wait to see how it does in these headlights today. Now here we have our GTR Lighting Ultra Series 2 low beam. As you can see, look at these things top and bottom here. Compared to stock, that hot spot's exactly where it belongs. It imitates the factory beam pattern almost perfectly. We don't have any glare above that hot spot, and this came in at 353% brighter than stock. That is an unbelievable upgrade for your low beam. Now here's our GTR Lighting Ultra Series 2 high beam. Once again, that hot spot's right where it belongs. We've got a lot of flood. We've got a very tall beam pattern. If you're looking for something that really comes to life when you hit that high beam switch, this is a great option. So now that you guys have got an idea of what bulbs you want to run in your Ford Super Duty, I'm going to take this truck, put it back to stock so that it looks like the one you've got in your driveway, and I'm going to show you guys from step 1 to completion exactly how you can get your factory bulbs out and your new bulbs in. So the first step in getting this truck taken apart is actually popping the hood. And the first thing we're going to be doing here is removing all of these little plastic clips that hold this plastic piece down on top of the grill. So you can accomplish that with a little pry tool. Now there's a total of 14 clips across this plastic piece here. Just start from one side, start from the right side, and just work your way across. There's a few different styles of clips out there. This particular one just lifted out. Some of them have a center pin that you got to get under and pop up first, and then you can pry the entire clip out. Depending on what you got, you might have to deal with that. Now you can go ahead and lift this plastic piece off like so, and we'll set it off to the side. Now at this point we can remove the 8 10mm bolts going across the top of this grill. Start from the right once again, and just work your way across. Now depending on how your truck came equipped from the factory, you may have a front 360-degree camera. You may also have a washer line running to that to help keep the camera clean. You're going to need to disconnect those in the next step here. So remove the grill, and to do that you can just pull it toward you. It's held in with plastic clips, and at this point, if you've got any of those extra features, you can reach back here and disconnect them. All of our stuff is actually attached to the sweet Vision X grill that we installed in a previous video. You should definitely check that out if you've got a Super Duty like this. It is well worth the money. So I'm going to take this grill, set it off to the side. So we've got a 10mm bolt up top here. We've got 2 on the inside of the headlight here, one on top, one on bottom. And then we've got another 10mm bolt firing in from the side here just underneath the fender, just above the bumper. You can reach all of those with a 10mm socket and extension. The final 10mm bolt is right inside here, right between the fender and the bumper. You can reach in there with your 10mm socket and extension. Remove it like so. Now if you reach this step and you go to remove that final bolt and you can't reach it at all, the bumper's too high and you just can't get a socket on it, no problem. I've actually got a video showing you guys exactly how to take care of that as well. It involves lowering the bumper a little bit. There's nothing to it, and I show you step by step how to do it. You can check that out on our channel as well. If you've got that bolt out, we can finally remove the headlight from the truck. At this point we can go ahead and pop our headlight out. Easiest way to do that is just to bring it down toward you, bring the top toward you, and then lift the bottom out. That's what I found to be the easiest way to get this thing out of here. Go ahead and squeeze the connector, unplug it just like so, and remove the headlight from the vehicle. Now that you've got your headlight removed from the truck, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to upgrade the bulbs. If you flip it around, you're going to see that there are 2 bulbs in the back of each headlight, one on the bottom and one on the top. Remove the bottom bulb just like this, set it off to the side. At this time you can install whichever LED bulb you choose to. Now when you buy a set of bulbs from us for your 2017 and up Ford Super Duty, we already know that chances are you're going to need a PWM module for the lower bulb on each headlight. 2 total PWM modules that you have to install, and it prevents any kind of a weird flickering, strobing, or bulb out effect. Depending on where you get your bulbs from, they may or may not include these, and you definitely want them. The last thing you want to do is take your whole truck apart again just to install something like this. We include them by default. These are super simple to install. You just plug them in like this, and this end goes to your factory wiring. Nothing to it. Now the top bulb is the exact same process. There's just no PWM module included. You don't need a PWM module for the top bulb. Simply remove the factory H13 bulb and install your new LED bulb. At this point, we can bring the headlight back to the truck, reinstall it, and repeat all of the steps that we did to take the truck apart. Not only have you seen which bulb is the best possible bulb for your Ford Super Duty, you've also seen how you can do this install at home in your driveway. Now, we've done a lot of videos like this one on this truck. We've done the Addictive Desert Designs chase rack install, we've done the Vision X grill install up front, and a ton of other lighting upgrades on this Ford Super Duty. So if you've got a truck like this, please click the subscribe button. We've got a ton of content coming out for this thing on a regular basis, and I'd love for you guys to see it. Thanks for watching.